Hello friends, welcome to JavaEE JSP tutorial. So in this sub-series we are creating a custom tag. In the past video we created a class which derives from simple tag support. We also saw how the doTag method will perform the rendering of the custom tag. In this video we will link our custom tag which is defined in the Java class with the tag library descriptor, so that the JSP file will look into this descriptor and knows what is the implementation class. Alright. So in the last video we talked about different versions, version 1, version 2, and this will be our version 3 JSP file. Soon we will create, and this will be our display book version 3. So you can see how we are improving it. First we used the scriptlets, then we used JSTL. Now here also we are using JSTL, but instead of using the JSTL tag we are going to use our own tag. So for this we need to know the simple tag support, and if you see in the last video we created list book titles, that's the Java class, to define our custom tag. So this one we talked about in our previous video, that means in part 1. Then we also implemented the list book titles tag, which derives from a simple tag support. And you can see here that this doTag method is the heart, and that performs the rendering. So you can see some HTML static as well as a dynamic content that get pushed to the browser session. Now we will talk about the Tld file. Tld stands for Tag Library Descriptor. So Tld stands for Tag Library Descriptor. So in the previous video we already created a Java class, so we can say that as a tag class. So we will register this tag class with the Tld file. So later when we create the JSP file, the JSP file will look into this tag library descriptor, and from there it will know what is the implementing class. So once it knows the implementing class, then the vendor means here it is Wildfly knows which doTag method to call. So here we are going to create a Tld file called, for now let's assume book titles.tld. when we go to demo, if we need, we can change this. So the content will go like this: tag lib. So that's how we will start. Then there will be a ending tag. After that, inside the tag lib we can have a tag. So inside the tag we will specify the name. So this means a name of the tag. Then we will specify tag class. So then if our tag class contains attributes, we will specify that also. Then we will define the attribute. When we define the attribute, once again we need the name and type. So this is how it will go. If you see tag lib, here we will specify URI also. So URI uniquely identifies the tag library. So when we talked about the JSTL core library, we often used this tag lib in the JSP file, right? We specify tag lib, of course, with the @ percentage, all those tag lib. Then we will specify the URI equal to JSTL core, then prefix C. This is how we use, right? So here this URI, so this URI defines the tag library. So the runtime environment Wildfly will search for this URI, and inside the URI it will find one or more tags. Say for example, we used the tag with the prefix CIF, right? CIF. So when we learned about the JSTL, that time we used all this tag, right? C. Then to declare a variable we use to set all the stuff. And if you see inside the URI, all these tags will be defined. So tag name will be if, and the tag will be defined. After that tag name will be out. After that tag name will be set. So all these three tags will be defined inside a single tag library defined by a specific URI. That's what we refer when we writing our JSP page. We say that I want to use tag library identified by this URI, and when I am using, I can't specify that big URI here. So that's why I give a prefix C, and when I am referring, I will give this C. Similarly, if you see here, we define our own tag library. So tag lib, we will specify a URI tag. Name of the tag, we can give a name for the tag. Then tag class is nothing but the Java class which we defined previously in the previous video. Then attribute is nothing but the book title collection. So that's all we defined here in tag lib, and when we go to the example, that time you will clearly understand this tags. So now let's go to the tag library file, and that helps you to understand it even more better way. So if you see here, my list books, this is the tag. So this name will be this one, and attribute is, if you see, this is the books attribute. So that's what we define. So in the tag lib we will define these two. So list book is one tag. Likewise, inside the tag lib you can define multiple tags also. So at some point in time this tag will get closed, right? So one tag is finished, and here we have only one attribute. If we support more attribute, then we have to specify all those attributes. So once again, we will this is our goal. We want to use this custom tag in the JSP file. Now let us look at here. So this will be our simple tag support. And this will be the attribute. So first let's go to the class. In the previous video we defined our list book titles tag here in this package, tube coding example .jtags. Inside that there is a Java file, and the class name is a list book titles tag. So this is our tag class name. All right, now let's come here. So tag lib, we started this, and here we are ending the tag lib. Inside short name you can give whatever you want. Here I'm giving this as list of books. So that's the purpose of this tag. It will list the books. And URI, if you see, the package name, I'm giving it as a URI tube.codingexamples.jtext tube. So http://www.tube.codingexample.jtext. So to uniquely identify our implementation location. So here you can give any unique URI. But here I gave our package location with the HTTP URI. So that's what here we defined the URI. So this URI will uniquely identify our custom tag. Later, when we use the tag lib inside our JavaScript, we will use this URI. Alright. So our tag lib contains only one tag, and if you want to support multiple tag, you have to start defining the multiple sections. So here you see only one tag section, and the tag here denotes our list books. So we define our tag that defines list books. So this we will be writing in Java JSP file, right? So once the JSP file sees this, it will go to the tag library descriptor, and inside the tag library descriptor, it will find the list books. Before that, before using any tag, we will define this tag lib, right, at the top of the JSP file. So tag lib URI we will specify. So even before coming to this point, the JSP file knows that there will be some tags that get used identified by this URI. So it knows what is the implementation class. So here tag, if you see tag class, here we specified the location of our implementation class tube, package name, tube, coding examples, then JText. So it's not beans, it's JText. Okay, so tube, coding examples, JText. Inside that list book titles tag. So this is the implementation class. So by using the tag name itself, so list books, it goes here to the tag. Then using the tag class, it knows where is the implementation class. So that's the purpose of this tag class tag inside this tag library descriptor. So we don't have any body. That means here we opened our list books, and if you see in the JSP file, we are ending it. Suppose if we have some body, then body content will not be empty. All right. Next, so here we talked about this list books tag. So that's the tag name, matching name, and here the name is matching, and we specified where this tag is implemented. Then we are talking about the attribute name is books, and if you see the JSP file will use the same attribute which is defined here in the tag library descriptor. Then the type of this attribute is java.util.arraylist. Why? Because we want to send titles bean as a collection. So we already talked about this, right? Here we will send the array list, and array list is collection of bean. So that's why here we specify name for the attribute is books. Remember, here we are defining our own custom tag, just like how you used the JSTL standard tags like C out used, right? So I think I'm repeating this again and again. Likewise, we want to use some namespace. I can give T also, T. Then I want to use the list book tag. All right. So the attribute here is books, and its type is array list. And at runtime, if you see, this is supplied by the JSTL. So we already talked about this JSTL usage, dollar, curly braces, var name. So here this book title variable name will be pushed by our servlet, and in request context we will define this book titles, and here we are directly referring this, and we know that this will be an array list and that is assigned to our attribute. And here if you see books type record, okay, record tells that this is a mandatory attribute. So when you use this list book tags, you should, the user should, the JSP file creator should use this books attribute. It's mandatory. That's what here we specified it true. Then expression value, that means here we can use this books attribute with the expressions. So JSTL expressions we already talked about, right? We can use that with the expressions. All right, now this tag contains attribute. So here we have only one attribute. So if we have multiple attributes, then this tag will have one or more attribute section. So here this attribute is here. So you have to know, so the list books is defined by this tag. Then books, it's an attribute that is defined inside this tag, attribute open and close, attribute tag, right? And this one, if you see, it will get linked to this getter function in our tag library class. That's all we need. Then when we do the do tag, we will actually perform the rendering. Now it's a demo time. Okay, so in the last video we defined this list book titles tag. Now we will go ahead here and create new file. Here we will give the name booktitles.tld. So we need this under web.inf. So I'm simply dragging and dropping it here. So the file moved here, booktitles.tld. Next we have to create the tag library descriptor. Here you can see how we defined the tag library descriptor. Okay, it's just a warning, leave it. As we already explored this, nothing more explanation is not required here. So we saw this in the PowerPoint slide. So we just defined our tag library descriptor file, and you can download this content from the video description. So if you manually edit this, you may tend to make mistakes. So this is actually case sensitive. Usually you may end up making mistake here, one, then in the tag name, then in the attribute name. So all these three are important. And a quick technique here to grab this name, jtag, expand here, right click. So see here I am just clicking on the class name, right clicking on the class name, Then here I'm choosing copy qualified name. When I paste it, you can see you will get the class, and you can paste it here to avoid typing and case mistakes, letter case. Alright, we defined our TLD class. Next, in the third part of the video, we will create the JSP file and we will test this example. That's all here in this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.